Welcome to the Rocco Show. I'm Rocco, and it's another beautiful day somewhere in the Midwest. Hey, we got a brand new segment for you tonight. It's called Rock and Roll Tales of the Old Midwest, and it's going to be an ongoing segment here on the Rocco Show. Your host will be the Old Midwesterner. And, well, I could talk about this show, or I could just show it, couldn't I? Tell you what, you take a look at part 1 of Rock and Roll Tales of the Old Midwest, and me, I'm out of here for the day.
I'll talk to you next time.
Rock and roll tales of the old Midwest. Rock and roll tales of the old Midwest.
Howdy, and welcome to Rock and Roll Tales of the Old Midwest. I'm the Old Midwesterner, and boy, tonight we got another good one for you. This one's all about the time Rocco and his bunch met up with the wildest, wooliest bunch there ever was. I'm talking about Led Zeppelin here, man, in the flesh. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, the best dang rock and roll drummer there ever was, John Bonham, and old what's-his-face on bass. Now here's how it went down. It was a sultry Midwestern summer night when Rocco and his boys, which numbered 6 in all, had to tie up about a mile from the concert hall on the Kansas side. They figured something was amiss. As they got closer, it became obvious what the problem was. Well, sir, there must have been 10 or 12,000 folks trying to get into a place that held about 2,500 people. Now, I'm not saying it was a riot, but it was damn close. Well, with all the folks milling around trying to figure out how to get into Memorial Hall, Rocco and the bunch decided it was going to have to be every hombre for himself. So they split up and agreed to meet at a designated location after the show. Well, only 2 of them ever made it inside. Rocco found a scalper with 1 ticket, and he agreed to be scalped good. But he didn't care. Hell, it was Led Zeppelin, man. Well, by the time he got inside, about an hour later, the boys were just finishing up their first song. It was obvious to Rocco that these boys were a lot more than 3 sheets to the wind. By his estimation, it was more like 30, 40, 50, maybe 60 sheets to the wind. Now, Robert Plant was just sort of a squawking and a screaming and a screeching his way through. Page and old what's-his-face could barely manage their horribly out-of-tune guitars. And Bonham, forget it. He fell off his drum throne repeatedly and had to have the sticks placed in his hands and be propped up by a stagehand. He'd make it about half a minute or so, and then down he'd go again. It wasn't a pretty sight. After 6 or 7 songs, Rocco ran into one of his boys, Larry, who had got in through a 2nd-story window in the storeroom with the aid of a human chain and a drain pipe. Rocco and Larry made their way up towards the stage, about 5 rows back, I reckon. Now let me tell you something, y'all. This was the pre-Stairway to Heaven Zeppelin. And these boys were here to crunch, let me tell you. Rocco claims to this day that his hearing-impaired left ear is a result of a marriage between Jimmy Page and a stack of Marshalls. But hell, he didn't care. Hell, man, it was Led Zeppelin, man. Well, sir, this Led Zeppelin saga is a long one. So we're going to end tonight's episode and call it part 1 and show you part 2 next time. Until then, I'm the Old Midwesterner, and I'm out.